Those are the guys, Spady here, and today I got some comic book reviews for you. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to take a look at Trinity War, Batman 66, the Trinity War tie-in, Superior Spider-Man, and the Infinity comic books. So let's just start off with the bad comic books, and we'll talk about this last. The Trinity War. Very disappointed yet again. I was actually more disappointed in the tie-in than I was with the actual event. Now I'll talk about the actual event comic first. This one I was really upset with, in the fact that it's just, it is, first of all, this is not a, where's a good picture? This is not a box. That is a skull. I don't know why they're calling it a box. It's not a box, it's a skull. The artwork is great, but I don't understand how this box is so dangerous. No one can touch it. Now everybody wants it. That's pretty much what this issue is. It's everybody just trying to get the box. Now the artwork is great. I thought the ending was pretty good, but I was very disappointed with it. I thought it was very poorly done, bad writing. It just doesn't make sense. We've been trying to, for the last 4 issues, no one could touch this box. No one could come near it. Now everybody wants it. Very, very disappointing. I have to give this a 2.5 out of 5. Actually, maybe just a 2. I'll give it a 2.3. I did like the ending. I'll give it that. I'm kind of curious to see what the box is now, or the skull. It's not a box. But say, you know, it's pretty lame. It's pretty lame event. Even worse comic was this. This was actually the worst comic book I read this week. This was so terrible. The art was pretty good, but I mean, other than that, there's nothing. This comic book has nothing to offer. There's absolutely nothing good in this. Pretty much what it is it takes place, well, some of it at least, in this issue, and what it is, it's the battle that's going on here, but the 7 deadly sins are it's sort of them controlling the I don't really understand, like, they're sort of there, but no one can see them except Pandora. And it's stupid, and she's trying to take them down or whatever, but nothing's happening. It's a whole bunch of nothing, to tell you the truth. They're just sort of there, and it does flashbacks, and it just doesn't make any sense at all. It really doesn't. It's just a really bad comic book. This absolutely awful. This I would give a 0. I haven't given a 0 in a while, but this one is just so bad that it deserves a 0. I put my foot down. Another really bad comic book. I picked this up because I thought it would be the saving grace for DC. I thought this would be, you know, this would be epic, and I could actually like something with DC. No, it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. It was really cheesy, and it really wasn't anything special. First of all, I understand it's Batman's 1966, and it's based off the TV show, which is absolute cheese. It's ridiculous, but the writers are using that as an excuse to make everything illogical. Now, one, this great artwork that looks like it suits the comic book really well, it looks really retro, looks great for this type of story, is not in this. Pretty much the story of this is Penguin has an iceberg, and he has made it a legal country, so no one can touch it. And, you know, Commissioner Gordon just figures out about this, like, right now, and then the next panel over, like, 3 seconds after it happens, oh, Robin, Boy Wonder, it really is true. I mean, how did you know about this? How did you already hear that there's an iceberg? I don't see, there's only one guy that knows about this. That's Commissioner Gordon. I didn't see him contact you in any way at all in this one page. So that's, and it's just his plot. His plan is ridiculous. His plan is pretty much that Mr. Freeze has a grudge on Batman, so they're gonna freeze him up on this island and steal some money or whatever. I sort of lost track. But you don't need to go through all of this with nonsense to make this iceberg and then make it a legal country. You could have just froze him up at Penguin's Polar Bear Lounge or whatever it's called. There was no point in that. I mean, I understand this is based off of the 1966 show, but at least that show has like a reason to it. At least episodes I've seen, there was nothing that it didn't make sense. I mean, it all made sense. It was ridiculous, but it made sense, and this just doesn't make sense. And I know I'm dogging on it and all, but I mean, I'm not dogging on the show. I'm just dogging on how these writers use the title as an excuse to make it illogical. And that show was good. The reason why we like the cheesiness in that show is for one reason. It's from the 60s. So it's okay to be like that, because it's from the 60s and it's laughable. This isn't laughable, other than it's just laughably bad. Don't read this, don't buy this. I don't care what IGN says about this issue, it's terrible. I actually forget some of the key plot points, and I can guarantee you one thing, I'm not going back to read this again. So, 0 again. I'm giving this a 0 too. There's nothing good here other than the cover. That was disappointing. I really was expecting it to be good. Now we're going to talk about some good comics this week. We got Superior and Infinity. I'll talk about Superior first, because actually this Infinity comic was my pick of the week. This was the best one, but I'll talk about Superior, and I'll leave the best for last. Wow. Like I said, this is pick of the week, but this was very close. This gave Avengers a run for its money. My only real complaint with this, it's not really what I wanted, in the sense that there wasn't enough, like, the big smackdown battle, you know, like Hobgoblin, like what you see on the cover, you know, that's my only complaint. Other than that, it was fantastic, and there was still some great action in it. What you have is, you know, it takes place after Spider-Man calls out, what's his name, Phil Urich, as the Hobgoblin. Trouble's at the Daily Bugle. Spider-Man comes along, he has his spider army there, they're gonna go in, someone called the police. Phil Urich takes, with his girlfriend, what's her name, hostage, and, a whole bunch of stuff happens. Now we figure out how Spider-Man tracked him there, if, you know, you didn't, I don't believe it said in the last issue. I think it did, but what he did is he scratched him, and as he scratched him, he injected little nano tracers in, so it traced him back there. Now, the coolest part was, you know, we get to see this. He blows up the nano tracers in his chest. That was awesome. That was awesome. Going back to this Wraith part, she's trying to track the money trail. She's trying to figure out what's going on here, and what's behind this whole Superior Spider-Man thing, and how he could afford an army and weapons and robots and such. So anyways, Hobgoblin then is imprisoned. The Green Goblin wants him, so he gets Menace to take him back to the lair, and then the ending was fantastic, where Phil Urich, the second Hobgoblin, is now the Goblin Knight. Green Goblin's Goblin Knight, which was awesome. Anyways, I thought this was home run. I thought the art was great. Now, it wasn't a big chase issue, a big epic fight or battle like there was in issue 700, but it was still fantastic. The Superior Spider-Man, I'm still loving it. I love every minute of it. I love the fact that it's you don't know what's to come next. It's very exciting, and anybody who says this is bad is only saying it's bad because they don't like the fact that Dan Slott has killed Spider-Man. Because this is great writing for a comic book, and I can't remember I was this excited for any comic book ever. It's always a pleasure to read, and that's why I'm giving this a 4.8 out of 5. That very high grade, and very good issue. That's all I have to say about that. Now for, as I said, comic of the week was Infinity. This was a tie-in, but it's a very, heavy tie-in. It's very important that if you want Infinity, you should read this. Now, the cover's great. I love this cover. This is a really cool cover. It's really awesome. What we have is, you know, the artwork. Before I get into it, I'll talk about Francis Yu. Lennon Francis Yu. His art is fantastic. We started off with the Skrulls, and I love the part with the Skrulls, how they've, the builders are obliterating all these planets, and the Skrulls have fallen victim to that. We get to see, the older Skrull kick some ass and do some cool stuff, and then they come to the, what is it, the council? What's the one with, Star-Lord's dad? Nomad, I can't read it upside down. The Galactic Council, I guess that's what it's called. So they're having an assembly of all these different people there. They have the Avengers, they have the Skrulls, they have the Brood, they have everybody there because they gotta stop the builders from destroying all these planets. So what they do is they have a plan, because the Skrulls have found out that these people can die because Papa Skrull blew them up. So now we have this big galactic battle. The artwork is fantastic, by the way. And they all go in. There's ships, there's lasers, there's explosions. It's fantastic. And the only problem was that there's just Falcon, and he's just sort of flying around. But other than that, it was great. The ending was great. I have to give this a 4.8 out of 5. Very highly recommended. And I hope you guys enjoyed my reviews, and until next time.